Real Life Foster Carers YouTube. I'm with Susie today. This is one of my oldest friends, and she is very involved with, you've been involved really from the offset, haven't you?
Yeah.
Susie was one of my referees when we had to give our references initially. So when you apply to be a foster carer, way in the very beginning, during your Form F stage, you're asked to provide 3 references. So it's a family reference and then 2 non-family members. So we chose Susie, and at the time we'd known each other like 12 years.
Yeah.
We chose my husband's friend, who he similarly had known for about 10 years, and then we chose my husband's auntie as well, who knew us both similarly really well. So today I'm just going to be talking to Susie a little bit about the questions that she was asked. So she received a form to fill in, and then you had a telephone conversation, didn't you, with the social worker that did our Form F.
Yeah.
And I'll just be chatting a little bit about how, from a perspective of someone who was really, really close to me, knew our lifestyle before fostering, has obviously known me a very long time, just kind of getting your thoughts on what it was like to know that it was even something we were considering, and what you initially thought. Because that, again, I've said this in some of my previous videos, people's initial reactions when you say fostering can be quite negative. So tell me a bit about, do you remember when I first told you? Okay, go on then.
Okay, so Connie and Nico had come down to stay with us for the weekend, I think. It would have been for the weekend. And I remember her just saying, so we've got something to tell you. I thought, oh my goodness, is she pregnant? She lost her job, like what's happened? And she said, we are going through the process of becoming foster carers. And half of me was like, yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
And then half of me was like, what? Just because I didn't know anything about fostering. I don't know anyone that's fostered. I didn't really know anything about the process or anything like that. So
had you heard any horror stories though? Or did you have a preconception of what foster children were?
Yeah, so I guess like a bit like everyone, you kind of, like for me, I kind of thought that's going to be really challenging.
Because you look after children, don't you?
Yeah, so I'm a nanny. And that could be challenging itself, and that's just for 10 hours a day, and then I get to go home and forget about it. And I know that that's hard. So obviously for you to be having these kids 24/7 for long periods of time, potentially, I don't think that, because it's such a, you don't know what to expect with it, and I can see that now you're here and you've got these children that are in your care. If you guys weren't the type of people that you are, and you are so laid back and relaxed and kind of just take whatever life throws at you, if you're not that kind of person, I don't see how it could work, because I don't see how these children could cope with going into an environment where there's just really strict rules and structure. And maybe it would work for some, but I don't know. I do think you've got to be, from my
bit
point of view,
mental,
bit crazy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, can you remember? So you received a form in the post, didn't you? I didn't give that to you, did I?
No, you didn't give that to me. I remember you telling me it was coming.
Okay.
A few questions. Well, no, it was sort of, I think maybe 4 A4 pages, double-sided,
okay.
and kind of like questions and box sort of this big for you to write in.
Okay.
I'm trying to think back now to what kind of questions they were, just what you and Nico are like as a couple, why I think this would suit you guys.
And how hard was that? Did you feel, so for people who are maybe at this stage, who are deciding who to put forward as references, did you find that intimidating? Did you find that sort of like not an honour, but was you pleased to have been asked? Did you feel that you were capable to answer those
Yeah, I did feel like I was capable because I know you so well. And I know Nico really well. And I know what you guys are like together as a couple. So I did feel really privileged though that you'd asked me, because it's a big thing. Like, it's me saying whether I think you're capable to look after these children or not. Like, what if I've got this completely wrong?
It's all your fault.
That's all my fault. But no, I felt like I was the right person to ask, because I do know you so well and I do know what you're capable of.
And so what were the questions like? So like, was it things like, how do they cope under pressure? Was it those sort of questions?
Yeah. So it was, how do you cope under pressure, stressful situations? Did
it ask anything about sort of like how you knew us, or how long you'd known us, or how we met?
Yeah, it asked how long I'd known you, how long I'd known Nico, like what you were like as a couple, all those sort of standard things, just seeming like they wanted to get to know you from someone else's point of view.
Okay, so our personalities, maybe how we cope under pressure, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and did you discuss any of that with anybody else, or did you just sort of like go for it, do it, write it down?
I spoke to Jack, my husband, about it, but other than that, I felt like I was capable enough in myself to answer honestly and give the information that they were really asking for, because some of the questions you could tell what they wanted to, not what they wanted to hear as in like I was just saying things to please them, but
what they were getting at,
they wanted to know about you, sort of thing.
Okay, so you did that. How long did it take you roughly? Did you do it over a couple of nights or something, or?
No, I did it all in one night. I sat at this table with the doors closed. It took me a good couple of hours.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And you had to send that back to. They gave you what, like an addressed envelope?
Yeah. So they just gave an addressed envelope and just sent it back as soon as it was filled out.
And then, can you remember how long after that you got a phone call? Did you get a phone call?
Yeah. So I think I got a phone call saying that I was going to be receiving a longer phone call. And I think on the letter it said that I was going to be getting a phone call as well. But
was you scared of that? Have you ever had any dealings with social workers? Did the word social worker scare you? Because it scared me initially.
No, it didn't scare me because I wasn't in the position that you were in.
Yeah.
But no, I thought, in my head I did think, this is a lot of pressure. If I don't answer these questions properly, like this could be all on my head. So no, I wasn't scared of the idea of speaking to a social worker. But I did feel like I need to make sure that I know what I want to say and I know the points that I want to get across. So when she did call, I can't remember, I think it must have been a couple of weeks later.
Oh, okay.
And I was on the phone to her for a good 45 minutes. She was lovely, she was so nice.
And you really do get to know, because that lady was in my house for up to 4 hours sometimes, twice a week, at least once a week, for a good 6 to 8 week period. So you do get to know the people that come and do your Form F with you. And she wasn't, and she'd heard a lot about you as well, so I suppose it was
so on the phone she said, so you look after children, so you kind of can understand the stresses and the situations that you're in sometimes, and I could tell that she knew about me.
Of you,
but she was so lovely, and she didn't make me feel like I could answer anything wrong. She just wanted to know, like, the similar sort of questions about you guys. How do I think you would react in certain situations if there were emergencies?
And the important thing is as well, throughout your whole Form F, is honesty. Even anything, criminal records, health issues, ex-partners, because they go into every aspect of your lives, and as long as you are honest with them, they will work with you. They don't want anybody to fail at this process.
They're not trying to trick
No,
you.
they need foster carers. We need good people to look after these children. We've all got pasts. Like, nobody's had the perfect childhood and things like that. We've all been teenagers, and I would say the biggest thing to yourselves and your referees, just be honest.
Yeah.
Completely be honest, because they're not trying to catch you out.
Yeah,
at
and
all.
if you're not honest, they'll find out.
Yeah, 100%. So that happened, and that was a really big part of panel. So your references are really taken into account at panel, and they get to read it. I do have a copy of the report somewhere. So when you get a final copy of your whole Form F and everything that gets sent to panel, there's little quotes. So there's some quotes that Susie had said and our other referees had said, and that was really lovely to read. And so that gets put forward to panel, and so we went through to panel. You knew all about that, didn't you? You knew it was going to panel.
Yeah, I knew the dates, and I was texting you every day.
Yeah. So when you got the phone call, so you can't discuss a lot of what you do with many people. It's very hard being a foster carer. People all of a sudden get very nosy. And I think people a lot of the time think you're going to tell the children's stories, and that's not our story. They're not our stories to tell, and that isn't something you will ever be divulging in with your next door neighbour or the local shop owner. And even with you, there's some things that I can't go into, and you're very understanding of that. And I think your job helps with that too, and the data protection side of things. But one thing I will say is having somebody who is understanding enough to just listen and not probe and not ask questions and not want to know everything, that's really important as well. So I think that's why I've been able to be so open with you throughout the whole process. And so Susie was really someone who, I was texting constantly, we've got panel tomorrow, we've got this and we've got that.
Yeah.
So when you finally found out that we were approved, we were foster carers, and it was all systems go, did you think like, oh no, what have I done? Why did I let them do this?
No, not at one single point did I feel like that. You guys were so excited. I remember how excited you were. And I was just so happy for you. Like, I was so excited for you, and I couldn't wait to find out what was going to happen and
meet
who's going to be arriving at your house, what are they going to be like. I was just so excited.
Okay. And so we've had the boys for 10 months. You've met the boys lots. You've been really involved in most of what we've done. They get on with you really well. They call Susie Sheep because of Susie Sheep from Peppa Pig. So they call Susie Sheep, which is really lovely.
I like that.
They're really excited, and they love Jack. Susie's husband is a real handyman, isn't he? So he come and did a lot of work on our house, and the boys just absolutely doted on him.
Yeah.
And so again, Susie's expecting her first child. You've worked with children for well over 10 years now. Offset registered nanny, childcare provider, and now soon to be mum. You're an auntie to so many nieces and nephews. So watching those children in my house, is there anything that you have ever seen or experienced or noticed that is strikingly different to any of those situations? So being a nanny, being an auntie, being, obviously you don't have experience of being a mother yet, but seeing other mothers with their children.
It is different. It's very different. In some ways it's similar, as in, you take the boys out for the day, take them to the soft play, take them to the farm, and as much as you love them and you care for them, they're not your own. So in that sense, I thought it's similar to being a nanny. But then you get home and no one's coming to pick them up from you. You're not dropping them off and going on your own way. So that in itself was different to what I had experienced as a nanny. Obviously, I don't have the children 24/7. But also the paperwork.
Okay.
That's very different. I mean, I think because I worked in a nursery as well, I think I could kind of see a similarity in like the observations,
accident forms.
Being a nanny, well, my job was way relaxed, and we didn't have to do any of that. I didn't have to do any of that. But that is something you've really got to be on the ball with. Like, any accident, any trip, any bump, anything.
Yeah.
Any conversation that you think is slightly, what made you say that? You have to log. And I thought...
And affection is very different.
Yeah.
Tickle fights and obviously these children can't come and have a morning snuggle in our bed and things like that.
Yeah, things like
so
that.
From an outsider point of view, you would say that it is very different to any other adult-child relationship that you've seen or experienced. So it's not quite like motherhood,
no,
but you're not quite as distanced as a nanny.
No.
But it's somewhere quite nice in between.
Yeah, it is in between, but it's not like either.
No.
It's not.
It's not like either.
No.
Okay. And so you've mentioned lots, and I get sort of like, we've got mutual friends and things like that. So you've said like, I speak about you all the time, and I'm always talking about what you do. And I think it's amazing that you do. What sort of reaction do you get when you say, I know a 26-year-old foster care?
Oh, well, a lot of my friends and family know you anyway from me talking about you, or, you know, my mum knows you really well and things like that. Everyone is shocked. Yeah. Shocked. Everyone is surprised.
But me in particular does it?
No, not you in particular. Just someone as young as you. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. I think your age is the main thing.
Surprise. And on the whole, being honest, is it generally a positive reaction that you get, or have you had any negative reactions?
No negative reactions. Everyone says, oh my God, that's amazing. I can't believe she's doing that. That is amazing. And it is, I agree with them. It is completely amazing. I don't know how you do it.
No.
But yeah, it is, all reactions are the same. Wow, really? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never stop hearing that. Everybody thinks you're an absolute god there. And then I'll ring Susie and I'll be like, I'm so tired, I'm so done, I can't do it anymore. And then literally somebody gets wind of what you do and they're like, I can't believe you do it. And the reality, and I think the weight of what we actually do does kick in, and it makes it all worth it again. And you get up the next day and you carry on.
Because I don't think you realise when being in the situation, like, I don't think you step out enough and think about what you're doing. I think you just get on with it, as everyone does, but like, you don't step out and think about what you're doing for these kids and what an amazing thing it is.
When you're in it, it is tough. But it's weird because I take my hat off to all the other foster carers I know, and in a weird way, I feel like they're doing more than me. Like, when I see, and maybe, I don't know, because we're all dealing with different challenges and children with different challenges. Nobody's doing a better job than anybody else. But yeah, I think when you're just in it, and maybe that is my age, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've not had my own children, so it doesn't feel like a complete... I've got nothing to compare it to. I can never sit and go, well, my own never did that. My own never treated me like that. Or my own was never this tough. So, wow. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to get kind of an outsider's point of view on what it's like, because it's affected your life in terms of we don't come and visit as much. And when we do come and visit, your house gets turned completely upside down. Because they
love it
come. And
it's just like, it'll be like me soon. I'll be bringing my wind over. But it's just like, it's the boys are part of your life now, and I love it, and I love them. I think they're brilliant, and I think you're brilliant. So.
Thank you. Well, thanks guys. Please give it a like, a share, comment. I've never really done that before. Like, share, comment, subscribe. But it's really exciting when these videos do get out there, and I've had some really nice messages this week from foster children in America telling me how awesome it is and how to get the word out in England. And I had another foster carer who was waiting on his placement to literally arrive, and he said how my last video really sort of like geared him up and he got really excited. It's nice to know somebody else is going through that. So yeah, thanks again for watching. See you later.
Bye.